Today, in honor of December, we're back with Zeezee to do the Winter Essentials book tag. Say, let's go. Alright, number 1, Crackling Fire. Who is your favorite cold character who warmed up towards the end? I would probably have to go with Haymitch Abernathy from the Hunger Games franchise. When we first meet him in the first Hunger Games book, he's very standoffish. He's an alcoholic. He's not very warm, but then as you read more of the series, you get to learn more about him and really see how tragic of a past he has, especially after reading Sunrise on the Reaping. Yeah, after that book, I will not allow any Haymitch Abernathy slander because he has gone through more trauma than should probably be legal. Alright. See, number 2, I mean. Okay. Snowflakes was a book that was full of unique characters. Let's see. I would maybe go with the Hero's Guide trilogy. It's my favorite book trilogy of all time, and it's about a bunch of princes from fairy tales with their princesses, and the whole idea is that they are being defined by their status as a Prince Charming when there's a lot more to it. The bard stories are very inaccurate, and all 4 of the princes are, well, first of all, they have names, but they also have fun, unique personalities. You have Frederick from Cinderella. He's very, proper, scared of the outside world. And then Gustav is Rapunzel's prince. He's very hot-headed and, masculine. And Liam is from Sleeping Beauty. He's a more traditional, stereotypical Prince Charming, dashing, constantly going out to save people. And then you have Duncan from Snow White, who's adorable, very quirky, and even the princesses in that story are a lot of fun, so I would go with the Hero's Guide trilogy. Gingerbread Family. Which fictional family would you want to be a part of? Definitely, maybe the Weasley family from Harry Potter. They're clearly a tight-knit family, and also you can tell they really love each other, and they're wizards, so if I'm part of the family, perhaps I also get to be a witch. And let's see, I feel like also the Baggins family from Lord of the Rings, we get to see they're really fun a lot, and I get to be a little hobbit and have all these meals and parties every night. And then also, they're not technically book characters, but Addams Family, low-key would be kind of fun. They're a tight-knit group, they're creepy and kooky, but I honestly kind of dig into that stuff sometimes, so yeah, I think right now those would be my 3. The Weasleys, the Baggins, and the Addams. Alright. Blizzard was a book that had you confused the whole time. The whole time. I think I might go with The Magician's Daughter. I did a review of it a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't a bad book, but it was a little hard for me to understand some things. I didn't really understand the rules of magic and specifically the backstory with a lot of characters. So yeah, I think that's what I'll go with for Blizzard. Okay. Gift giving. What was the last book that was gifted to you? I believe it was back in July. It was the late birthday present from my aunt. I believe it was the first 4 books in Laura Burton and Jessie Cale's Fairy Tale Reimaginings. So, let me look at my Goodreads real quick. It was Queen of Snow, Red Arrows, Beastly Secrets, and Pure as Snow. And they're the first 4 in the series of currently 8 books. Yeah, that was the last one. Snowball. What was the biggest book you've ever read? I'm pretty sure, going back to Harry Potter, it's probably Order of the Phoenix. It was 870 pages, or it was a very long book. I've read it twice. And I think when I read it for the first time in 7th grade, it took me an entire trimester of school to get through it. So when I finally finished it, I was like, yay, I did it! Wrapping paper. What is your most beat up book? Let's see. Most beat up book that I have? I feel like it was probably maybe something that belonged to my mom when she was teaching, and she kept over a lot of books that she had like in her classroom library. A lot of those are a little beat up, and then of course I get a lot of my books from the library, and most of them are still in pretty good condition, but of course every now and then you get one that you can tell it was loved and used a lot. Alright, Christmas lights. What is a book that you own that has many colors on the cover? I think I would maybe have to go with any of the books in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. They're always very colorful, there's a lot of action, and specifically the 9th book in the series, which is Stellar Loon. Very colorful. You have 3 of the characters on it, and they're like casting magic on it, so for that one, I'd probably go with that. Alright. Ice skating. What is a book that had a plot that was all over the place? That would probably have to go to The Mysterious Society of Lady Scoundrels. It was a lot of fun, but it was a little hard to keep up with that time, because it's like, you had Cecilia and Ned, and then you also had Cecilia's aunt, and then also her friend, and then Ned's friend is over there preparing for his book in the series. To the point where I'm like, by the end of it, I had a lot of fun, but I was also a little confused. It's like, oh, that was a little hard to follow. What was going on? Who are you again? But I enjoyed it, I should make that clear. Christmas tree. Who is my favorite character of all time? I might have to go back to the Hero's Guide trilogy, specifically with Duncan, Snow White's prince. He's very quirky and he's super sweet. He's also a writer. At the beginning, he's a little bit of a loser, and like throughout it, he's never the brightest bulb in the group, but he's a really sweet guy who goes on everything totally like head first. So I look forward to rereading that series soon. Alright, the last one. The Star. What's a book that you look forward to rereading each year? For me, I don't really reread the same book every year, mostly because there are a lot of books I want to read, so sometimes I don't really have the time to reread the same book every year. However, I have been making a list of books I want to reread within the next 10 years, going through like my favorite books and series that I read in the 2020s, and now I hope to reread them in the 2030s. And I believe that list includes stuff like Pride and Prejudice, the Harry Potter series, the Narnia series, Thorns, Sorcery of Thorns, Caraval. Also, yeah, someday I might just make a list of all the books I hope to reread in the 2030s after the 2020s are over. So yeah, that was the book tag. If you had fun, please share this with your friends. I'm Louisa Hammond, and I'll see you next time.